So we already know that Red Dead Online isn't going to be getting any DLCs, rather getting some Telegram missions and some updated game modes. So I decided to talk about the interesting history of Red Dead Online's cut content or hidden secrets that might have been known or might have been forgotten about. It's going to be a pretty long list and there's even more, but I'm going to make that into our part 2 instead. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the video. Hopefully you enjoy. So let's first off the remove screenshots that you will get while loading into a PvP mode. You was able to see these removed screenshots when the online beta first came out, and as you can see they look like some pretty early screenshots of Red Dead Online, especially some of the clothing having some major clipping issues. And some of the clothing like the bandoliers, hats, and even some of the outfits are not even obtainable in the final game. Now the screenshots that interest me the most are the first and second one that I showed you. The first one having some unique clothing items that never really made it into the game, such as the hat and the bandolier, and the outfit that never made it into the game either, not to mention the glaring clipping issues as you see with the clothing. And the second screenshot showing a character without no gun belt, and the character right beside him having the inmate pants with the frumpy shirt. In game there is no option to remove a gun belt, and as for the inmate outfit you cannot keep it. But here's a hidden secret about this. I've actually managed to find these characters in game. I previously made a video about this 2 years ago showing off not only icons but some character models as well. And this would be the perfect time to show them off again, especially that they're used in PvP screenshots as well. So here's the character models that are shown in the PvP screenshot. As you can see they don't look, well, exactly normal, they look rather cursed, but that's how they just came out to be. Unfortunately there's no way to get these guys into free roam, as if you were to do this you get kicked into a loading screen. So the second thing on the list are the remove respawn options. So when Red Dead Online started getting leaks, this is one of the leaks right here, the respawn options of informing the law or dueling. But unfortunately reforming the law and dueling people that killed you never ended up making it into the game. The World Enhancements update introduced the bounty system, so reforming the law got replaced with pressing charges. Pressing charges will not only increase the player's hostility, but also increase the player's bounty. And then when it comes to dueling, when the online beta first came out, they decided to replace it with feud instead. To add salt into the wound, their introduction cutscene from 2018 showed dueling. What was even worse is the introduction cutscene from 2020 actually showed dueling as well. They changed the introduction cutscene to once again include dueling in there, even though dueling is not in the game. Yeah, I don't know how you explain that. But moving on, the third thing that got removed is remove game mode and some jobs. Again, there was only a few jobs, but the jobs that were removed was revive and survive and money grab. And the one and only map that got removed that never returned ever since, which is Hostile Territory Roads. But one of the game modes that came from GTA Online was meant to make a return in Red Dead Online is adversary modes. Again, it would have been interesting to see what type of jobs are going to be put into adversary modes, but unfortunately we'll never know. Now the fourth thing that ended up getting removed was a cut MVP cutscene. Pretty self-explanatory, whoever got MVP will actually have their character being shown doing an emote. Unfortunately the MVP cutscene got removed in the Frontier Pursuits update. Instead it'll just show you and your team, and under the MVP status you'll see their name. So on the fifth spot of the things that got removed was actually the types of stranger missions that you can do. You were able to do these type of missions until the Blood Money update ended up completely removing them. The missions being player assassination, posse assassination, coach kidnapping, and coach holdup. Again, I'm not exactly sure if anybody missed these type of missions or not, but I'm sure as hell do not miss the player assassination and posse assassinations. So the sixth thing that ended up getting removed as kind of a bit of a goofy one is facial expressions through masses. This was a secret change that was made when the Nationals update came out, but it got reverted back to being expressionless in the Bounty Hunter expansion update. All I have to say for this one is pretty gnarly and creepy, but it looks pretty damn cool. It's a shame that he changed it back to be expressionless in the Bounty Hunter expansion update. The seventh thing that ended up getting removed is camp themes, camp items, and etc. Originally the camp was meant to be more expansive and have more camp themes and more items, but currently we have the themes we have now and the items we have now as well. But one of the camp themes that got cut was the Savage Camp. Unfortunately that's not in the game. And as for the items that got removed, the supply wagon, the ammo table, and the camp poker table. It was also meant to be followers for hire for your camp as well, but they probably cut it just because there was no use for it in Red Dead Online. But moving on to the 8th spot we have on this list is property/wagons. The properties and wagons we have in game right now are connected to roles. There's only 2 wagons and 1 property. Now when it comes to wagons, these are the wagons that ended up getting removed, such as the horse cart, small coach, chuck wagon, Gatling, and the normal version. Now when it comes to properties, we're meant to have 8 properties that's listed on the screen here. It seems like properties were going to be coming into a DLC due to the global text being updated and the naturalist having an update for it as well. But unfortunately, we'll never be able to see the light of day between the wagons that got cut and the properties that got removed. On the knife side, we have the removed criminal content. Now yes, we might have gotten the Outlaw DLC, which was the Blood Money update, but that was more like a Stranger Mission expansion. There are no train robberies that are involving passenger trains, and there are no bank robberies. The only bank robbery we have is the one you do in the story mission. Meanwhile, there is no passenger trains to be spotted in free roam or missions. And with Red Dead Online no longer getting DLCs, it's very unfortunate that we're not going to be able to rob any sort of banks or passenger trains at all. Even the screenshots has been around as long as the online beta shows you that you were supposed to rob trains and banks. So besides being able to rob trains and banks, you're also meant to steal wagons and horses as well. So as you see here through global text, you can see that there's some information surrounding around some horses and wagons. And there's also stats surrounding around the amount of times you rob a bank. So unfortunately, being able to sell horses and wagons through the fence is a cut feature, but this is very misleading, as you would think this would be a feature in the game since this gets introduced to you after you sell horses. Now moving on to the final thing that got removed from Red Dead Online is the change introduction cutscene. The Naturalist update will be the last and only time we see this introductory cutscene. The Bounty Hunter expansion update will end up removing and replacing it with a brand new introductory cutscene that fitted with the direction that Red Dead Online was going. The old introductory cutscene does bring back some memories of the good old online beta, but I do like the new version of the introductory cutscene as it fits more the direction that Red Dead Online went. And well, we're not going to be able to rob passenger trains to become the true outlaws that we want to be, so yeah. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, the hidden secrets and removed content of Red Dead Online, and stay tuned for more upcoming videos.